What's the petrol level?
It's below taps, so we need to change it up. Right. Here we go.
Drum roll.
Right. Brake.
Yep. Nice.
Okay. Flaps clean. Mixture to rich.
Yep.
All the way.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's injected, so open the throttle full. But you haven't got to that bit quite yet, so you want to start your flow up here.
Yeah. Okay, so we need that one to get this booted up.
No, you need the emergency armed, which gets that screen going.
Okay.
We don't fire the avionics up until the engine is running and the alternator is on.
Yep.
So we don't risk running a spike into the kit.
Okay.
So you can arm the emergency one, and we don't need strobes because there's nothing running. Nav lights are on, which is good.
Yep.
Don't need the landing light. Do need the mags.
Yeah.
And then that brings you to the fuel pump, which now you can put your attention down from there, flow down and say, right, I want that fully forward, and then I want a prime. But if you touch the fuel pump now, it doesn't do anything because you need the battery master on.
Yep.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Now you can give it 5 seconds of prime,
Okay.
and you can watch to see you get some fuel flow on there. That's it. Good.
Good, bro.
Right. Hang on. What we're doing with the throttle and the mixture. You need to change that position, don't you? So throttle needs to go all the way to closed, and then just a little bit forward to set.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just about as, let's have a look. Go to about there. So all the way back, just about there.
Yeah.
Mixture goes to lean.
Yeah.
Keep your right hand on that, left hand on the starter button, and now you can fire it away. Forwards. When it fires, you've got to go forward with it. Stop. Okay, so you've discharged the prime that we had in there. So back, set. You fire it up and watch what I'm doing with this. Oil pressures.
Pause system test. Okay.
Work your way back. Alternator on. Don't need the fuel pump. Dead man check. Drop. Brilliant. We've got an engine running, so we go tails, fin strobe only, not link strobes. And then avionics brings up the rest of the thing. Up with that.
And when we have a passenger in the back, Darren, you need to activate them so they become active, because at the moment they couldn't hear us, so just make sure that you push that, okay? So in fact I should show you this very clear in this cabin. So with this, rotate the big knob all the way around and it goes to there. Use the little knob to go down to tours, press menu, inhibit, press enter. You get an inhibit, otherwise it says terrain. Pull up, you don't want that. Then we'll go back to the navigational map and then you can play around with the range. There's a few little light machines out, but mainly it's airliners today, so we're all running. You're okay in the back?
Yeah.
Good. Nice and slowly.
Romeo Zulu, Kitty Hawk, QNH 1007, wind 320, 10 knots, unofficial.
So I'm going to put some useful stuff in here, like some levels. I'm going to set the standby on that for you, because that's a better pace, much better, and nice to see you protecting the nose with the column. Yeah, that's good. What's happening with the RPM? I want to be running it at 700 RPM because it just puts lead all over the fuel, the plugs rather.
Yep.
Good, nice. All right, so let's begin a flow. We've got a rear passenger today, so we want to make sure that the trim is set slightly biased forward. It's too far forward at the moment, so I'm going to set it, and it wants to be about there. Are you happy with where that line is in relation to the neutral and forward position? Good. Flow now from here. down onto the flap lever. We want 2 stages of flap for departure, don't we? Great. Across to the door, and the door is closed and latched. And then onto the breakers, and all the breakers are in.
Yep.
And then just come to this.
Yep.
This is the alternate air. We just want to see that it works, so we get a drop. It's not a carb heat. And then the next thing is the mixture, so that can go to fully rich. And then the next thing across is the throttle. That tells you can go to 2000 RPM. Just make sure the brakes are holding. Nice. Mags.
Yep.
Yeah, it's within tolerance.
Okay, check.
Good. All the way back to check it idles. Back to 1000. What is the first thing we do as soon as we've done the power checks?
The free. Yep.
Good. And in the box all the way forward. That's it. Full and free and in the correct sense. Okay, so we've done the power checks on the left tank, and because of that, we're going to go on the left. Whichever tank we do the power check on, that's the one we depart on. Because we know it works at a high rate of flow, don't we?
Yep.
So we're now going to use APTLFM anti-collision lights, so they can go on. Yeah. A is air conditioning. That's off.
Yeah.
Good. T is transponder. That should be on. Reading 7,000 and out. P is beta heat. That can go on. L is landing light and lights as required. So that can land on. That's it. Yeah.
Alright.
So we've done that,
Yeah.
and then so ATPL, and then F for fuel. So we know we're going off on the left tank, and the pump can go on. Mixture is fully rich. Okay. Now we could got an option here. We can center the heading bug, and we can hit toga. Okay, take off and go around. Okay, we can even put it in heading mode. There's an argument that one shouldn't do that because if you follow the flight director truly and this is off, then what will happen is you can risk scraping the wing on rotation. Okay, but if you center that, not really an issue on this. So it's up to you whether you want to rely on that, or we cancel the flight director and just fly it organically.
Yeah,
So
I don't like it.
no, pitch for what, 7.5 degrees, something like that. So that little line there, you don't want to be pitching for 10.
Yep.
But you might notice that where the trimmer is might not be congruent with where you actually need the trim, right? So you might find that I'm having to push a little bit or pull a little bit, whatever, on the rotation. So expect that. Expect it not to be in perfect trim.
Okay.
And then, don't know where that's going, that FMS alone, but it's not relevant to us. And we're going to climb to 3,000 feet. After departure, once we're clear of the ground, we are going to make a very gentle rate 1, hardly any bank. Okay, turn gently to the left, just to avoid the house. When
At a certain altitude, or just
200, let's do 200 feet, and then flaps away. Today we're going to clean away in 2 stages. So flap 1, and don't forget, have your thumb on the trimmer, so you go from 2 to 1, and as this goes down there's going to be a slight back pressure, and give it 1, as you're doing that, give it 1 second. Take 1 second to make the transition and 1 second of aft trim at the same time. Pause for 1 second, and then to clean, that goes down, this comes back, and 1 second of aft trim, and then what you'll find is it'll be perfectly in trim. Does that make sense?
yeah. Is it back pressure and then trim?
Well, no, it's back pressure,
Yeah.
and then what you're doing is trimming that pressure out. I
Yeah.
don't want you flying the aircraft on the trimmer. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, when you're ready, so brakes to release. Kilo traffic, Runway 0 departing, tree 4 kilo. Excellent, full power. Make sure she's making good T's and P's, good RPM,
Yep.
good. Cover the throttle and the mixture. That's good. That's nice. And we're away. And then we just want to make sure the airspeed becomes alive. There she goes, airspeed alive. That's what we say. Gently back on the column, because you want to protect that nose wheel. Just keep coming back, mate. Keep coming back. Just keep coming back. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Oh, look, we're fine. Good. Control that pitch. Now this is where you decide how in trim or not it is, and then trim it out. Does that make sense? Nice takeoff, by the way. Very nice. Very controlled. Lower the nose slightly, gently round to the left when you're ready. Good. Keep coming around to the left. I'm going to give you a bugged heading of all the way around to something like that, okay? Very nice. Okay, let's begin the clean-up operation. So, finger on the trimmer. That's it. Good. Pause. And let's go clean. Same thing. Half trimming as you do so. Nice. Really nice. Heading's coming up, that bug. I'll center it there. Fly that. That's great. Nicely done, mate. Thanks. So after takeoff checks, landing gear.
It's fixed.
Excellent. Landing light.
Go on.
Great. We do the gear and then the light because sometimes the light is on the retractable gear, and if we fold the light away with the bulb still on and it's not LED, it burns the filament out. So landing gear, landing light are always done together. Then we go flap. Have we left any flappage?
Clean.
No, we're clean. Cow flaps.
Don't have it at all.
Excellent. And then fuel. Okay, good. Monitor the flow. Still good, isn't it?
Yep.
After takeoff check complete.